Have you ever stopped 50 people on the street, introduced yourself, and made portraits? Amidst the hustle and bustle of Waikiki, Hawaii, I set myself this photographic challenge. Waikiki is one of the world's most famous beaches, and since the time of the first Polynesians long ago, people have come and gone from its scenic shores. In an age of skyscrapers and jumbo jets, a quick glance around can easily lead you to wonder, who is here, what do they do, and where are they from? The camera is a natural tool for looking closer, wider, and deeper, and every day and every place is one of a kind. Good photography starts by being curious, and cities are astounding places to peel back layers to find out who and what is there at any given moment. Waikiki is home to tens of thousands of residents, handles somewhere in the range of 72,000 visitors a day, and cycles the sands that shifted under the feet of Hawaiians 1,000 years ago. The assignment was to make over 50 portraits, collecting my subjects' names, where they were from, and their occupation, in order to discover a few of the folks who are in Waikiki on this particular day. Even if our lives only crossed for a moment, I met many people and was refreshed by the generous personalities and striking stories that filled my day. I made my first image at high noon, and nearly 7 hours later, at 6:43 p.m., I photographed my 54th portrait as the sun set over the water. I was reminded that every person I typically walk right by is much more than just another face on the street. They are full of intrigue, engaging stories, insights, and reasons for what all of us effortlessly think of as our lives. Picking up a camera does indeed give us the opportunity to see things differently from how they normally appear. Photographs let us realize different ways of seeing, and I named the project Facing Waikiki. Photographically, it was about creating strong, singular images, portraits, and at the same time creating a series that built the concept into something more dynamic. As such, I tried to consciously make the images resemble each other by repeatedly using the same lens, natural light, and similar compositions, but also add variety to the collection by using different backgrounds and colors, varying lighting, and by exploring the subject's personality through our interactions. By interacting with people on the famous beach, I was perhaps truly seeing Waikiki for the first time. I invited each participant to return to the beach for an outdoor exhibition and give them the chance to pick up their portrait and take it home with them. The show was a great opportunity to finish each image and to present the series. From an Irish chiropractor on business to a Mexican surfer on holiday, an American engineer exploring a new place with his family, to one of the girls renting surfboards and umbrellas on the beach. Nobody knew quite what to expect, and to see a portrait of themselves tied to a palm tree and blowing in the breeze was exciting for all. This assignment combined a passion for making photographs with people's interest in one another and in themselves. For some, I had captured part of a tropical adventure. For others, simply another day at work. Facing Waikiki was a creative challenge that tested my skills in making photographs, striving for singular perfection and the perfect series, and was very much about engaging my own curiosity in the world around me. Remember, be curious. Adventure is a state of mind, and so is living photographically. Today's photographic assignment will use both to take us high into the Ko'olau Range, riding road bikes through the mountains that form the backdrop to Waikiki and Honolulu.
My name is Logan. I'm a woodworker. This is my shop. We're down in Kalakaku, Honolulu, Hawaii, and been here for about 5 years. And in my spare time, I bike.
My first bike and every bike after that was a way to get around, to explore. Biking in Chicago, biking in Colorado, biking all over Hawaii. It's a way to get out, to let my mind roam, to get me to where I need to go, but to give me a space to think about things that are happening, to observe. I like the sport aspect of it because I like the intensity. I like aerobic sports, that feeling of breathing hard and that burn, pushing yourself. The way you can do it with a group, you can do it by yourself. It gives you really different experiences. Mostly it's setting a goal and just going for that.
Not a lot of cities where you have the mountains quite so close to the ocean and the city itself.
It's our dedicated green space here in Honolulu.
As I prepared for the assignment with Logan, I thought about two goals in terms of the photography: pushing limits generally and framing every image. I tried to push physical limits by riding everywhere and sometimes photographing while on the bike, looking for unique perspectives. I tried to push technical limits by knowing what my camera could do and then continually revisiting the edges of its capabilities. To frame every exposure, I imagined that every single shot I made could never be cropped. No matter if I was close, far, high, or low, I kept thinking about what I was seeing through my lens and how it was arranged. Riding up a hill like this, it's pretty tough, you know. It's a big hill, it's a long way.
One of the beauties of Tantalus and the ride here is that you see people of all different skill levels riding the hill. There's this old couple that comes up quite frequently, and you see them and you hardly imagine that they could balance. They're moving uphill so slowly. And then you'll see top caliber riders coming up here at speeds that I don't think I could ever achieve.
We did get a chance to take a break during our ride, but there was a catch. You also keep in shape with the steps to your house. How many steps to get up here?
Well, it depends on how you count.
How do you count?
By twos.
And how many?
44.
44. So you always take them by two.
It's easier that way.
So when you say you're Kama'aina, what does that mean here?
That means you're ma'a, familiar with the aina, and the aina is the land. So that just refers to someone who's familiar with where they're from.
One thing that we've talked about is the difference between making and taking a photograph. So you're kind of picking up on that.
It doesn't always mean hands-on, but it takes an effort,
Right.
Whether you're setting yourself up or dialing in your equipment, your lighting, everything about it, waiting for the right moment.
Anyone can kind of do it. It's just a question of thinking about it first. Thinking about composition, what's in the frame, where things are. So today with the cycling, it's a pretty important one, trying to figure out where you're going to be in the frame and put it, if you're moving forward, leaving enough space in front of you so that it's not cramped. If you're coming on one side, composing something that's graphically interesting, again, thinking about that movement becomes pretty important. Thinking about movement was also key as Logan and I ripped down out of the mountains, trying to keep the rubber side down. The life of a photographer certainly isn't always glamour and girls, but then again, sometimes it is.
I'm definitely trying to do more of modeling, but at the same time having fun and enjoying it.
I met Hillary and Nia while making portraits in Waikiki. A couple of aspiring models, their portfolios needed work, and I was excited to help. The windward coast of Oahu is spectacular. As the highway winds its way towards the North Shore, the toughest part just might be picking and choosing where to spend your time. For this assignment, I developed two more photographic goals to work towards. The first was that I wanted to become better at seeing how cameras see. Instead of simply looking at Hillary or Nia through my lens, I tried to see them the way the final image might be. In my head, I was flipping through color world, black and white world, and even imagining different levels of exposure. As the day unfolded and we checked out more locations, things were cruising right along.
I'm just in it right now for the fun of it, getting all dressed up girly and makeup. I mean, I'm a girly girl and I think it's a lot of fun. I'm also in it to try to break out of my shyness. I think that's the first step, so it definitely can make me, I guess, more confident.
With the trade winds blowing and the rugged flanks of the Ko'olau Mountains behind Hillary and Nia, I had a variety of beautiful elements to work with. But the other goal of mine had to do with recognizing that every photograph has at least two sides, the photograph and the photographer.
When I picked out my poses, I was able to relate to maybe what my surroundings were, what I was near. Yeah, I mean, I love taking pictures.
I had to reckon with how I was interacting with the models. One of my favorite parts about making images is the interaction with subjects, be they people, places, or even things. For people especially, it seems that nearly everyone can relate to making an image with a camera, and it is a natural way of being curious. As we set up for the next shot, we chatted about what it's like to be on either side of the lens.
When you take pictures with friends, it's more a comfortable feeling. You don't feel too intimidated because your friends don't really judge you. But if it's like a professional photographer looking through the eye of a camera, it's a little bit more intimidating.
I found it hard to believe that I could ever be intimidating, but then again, I don't photograph myself much.
I don't feel intimidated by all photographers. It depends on their attitude. If they have a giving attitude where they're totally involved with your poses and I feel a lot more comfortable, I feel like they're more like my friend.
And as the day wore on, we began to see like cameras, see ourselves, and see each other.
I think photography is like seeing something that you'd see every day and making it look a little bit more magical.
That magic Hillary was talking about is what makes the camera so cool.
Lighting, I guess, makes it more vibrant, more colorful sometimes, whether it's like scenery or a person or like a candid shot.